Okay, I'm going to cook some Patatas Pobres, which is known as poor man's potatoes. This is a dish that we came across pretty much the first week that we came to Almerimar, and it's traditionally served these days as a tapa with bread, fresh bread. But it's also a dish that's very easy to prepare, and therefore we use it and we eat it quite a lot with meat or fish, so it's pretty ideal with a nice piece of barbecued pork, which is what I'm going to do with mine today. It's a funny dish. It's a bit like bubble and squeak in the UK. Its obviously origins are, you know, very cheap, sustainable foodstuffs that are plentiful of supply, affordable, and fill you up. But it's become a little bit of not a speciality dish, but it's one of those dishes that, you know, from generation to generation, family to family, people are very proud of their own recipe. So there are variants on it, but today we're just going to cook the absolute basics. And as you see, there are really only 5 ingredients. There's the green pepper, which we've seeded and sliced up. As with a lot of these things, the actual size that you cut things to and prepare things to is down to you. But there's 1 whole green pepper. There's an onion that I've chunked, because, you know, that's how we tend to prefer the onions. Then we've taken 3 or 4 reasonable sized potatoes, and again, you can do what you like with them. One option is to parboil them. You can cube them, chunk them. We tend to slice them. Now, the reason that we don't parboil them is that experience has told us that they then tend to go incredibly mushy, yeah, with the other ingredients, but not quite so ready. So we tend to cook them from this state, so therefore we cut them quite thin, and they are going to break up during the cooking process. Got some extra virgin oil, and with it being Spain, we will obviously add some salt to taste. So those are the ingredients, and fundamentally the way we're going to cook them is that we're going to take about 4 or 5 tablespoonfuls of the olive oil. We're going to put that into in this case, a paella dish, but quite often you can also use a frying pan, or a wok is quite good. And then we're going to gently saute the whole lot together. So there we are, literally just started to warm the oil up, and then I just chucked everything in all together. So what I'll do is we'll just break the potatoes up that they're stuck like this, and just saute it 10-15 minutes, I guess. Okay, so I'd say that this is probably about 5 minutes in to the cooking. Just letting things simmer really, and stirring them round. It's a meal or a dish that just takes quite a bit of time to, you know, blend together. A couple of options for this meal. Like I said, you know, we're going to eat it as a side dish. It's very often used as tapas. But another option is to throw some chorizo in, or some melita, some black pudding. Again, you know, going back traditionally, sort of what was more classified as poorer man's ingredients, to bulk up the meal, to give it a slightly different flavour, both of which are very, very pleasant indeed. We tend to cook more than we need on this, because it's one of those meals that is, you know, in a way sometimes it can be a little bit better heated up the next day. And I don't know how I found this out, but I also found out that in the morning, a bit of a hangover, heat some of this up, a couple of fried eggs, brilliant hangover cure. Anyway, we're going to let this keep cooking for probably about another 10 minutes or so. So, about 10 minutes in now. You can see it's just starting to stick a little bit to the bottom of the pan if I don't turn it around, mix it up. And a lot of people do that. A little bit like bubble and squeak or hash brown. Quite a lot of people like to just get some nice crispy burnt bits on the bottom. We do, so I'm probably just going to leave this now, to put some meat on to griddle up. But we're about 5 minutes away from that being a delicious meal. So there we are. just about perfect. You see some brown bits here that I've just scraped off the bottom. You see how it's breaks up under the spatula, so it's going to be nice and easy to eat. Onions there, so it's just mixing up, nice brown bits on the bottom, slightly burned. Very easy dish. If you cook it, feel free to let us know what you think. Bye bye.